in my book Jump, there's a quote in there that there was an older guy that told me one time. We were talking about just a bunch of stuff, and he said, you know, if your hand is closed, can't nothing get out, but can't nothing get in either. And I interpreted that to mean, you know, if your hand is open, you know, things can get in and out, and you should be sharing what you're able to share. And you know, the question about why we as a people haven't been able to come together more and do more as a people. I think, you know, a lot of it goes back to how we got here and the things we went through as a people to get here. There's, you know, we're starting from way behind where everybody else is starting from. And I mean, and I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about going back 400 years to get to where we are today. And I mean, the reality is, for me, to me anyway, as bad as things are, it's a miracle that we are even here and that we are in existence and that we're able to do the things that we do. We got a long ways to go and we got a lot of things we need to fix. But to me, we've overcome a lot. We've overcome a lot, and you know, I just think we need to keep pushing to overcome even more. But it breaks my heart to hear about us still, you know, killing each other and the violence that we do against each other and the struggles that we have in trying to work together and come together. And I just have to continue to be optimistic and think that at some point, you know, we're gonna get where we need to be at some point. And you know, I think we all just need to try to do our part, whatever we can do to help, you know, help move that along. And I think, you know, a lot of times we might not think that our part can make a difference, but the reality is, I think if we all kind of continue to push and do our part, we you know, eventually we'll get there. But it's to me, it's a part of our history that has gotten us. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to Africa, to go to Ghana a few times. I've been to Africa quite a few times. But the first time I went to Ghana, I actually went to the slave castles that they had along the coast there. And what basically would happen is they would gather people up and march them to the coast and then house them in these dungeons for like 2-3 weeks before loading them on the ships to bring them here. And, you know, walking into those dungeons, you can feel the spirit of the people that suffered and, you know, all the pain that people went through there. But, you know, the thing that really drove home for me the first time I went to Africa is that we are descendants of the strongest of the strong. Only the strong survive, both physically, mentally, spiritually. They're the ones who survived the trips to the coast, the times in the dungeons, the ship over, and that's who we are descendants of. And I think if more people, if more of us understood where we come from and what's in our DNA and the strength that's inside of us, I think we would try to do better in terms of, you know, trying to, you know, accomplish and achieve the greatness that's inside of all of us. But to me, that was that trip really drove that home for me. Yeah, no, what's going on in this country right now is really amazing. You know, when George Floyd was murdered, I was the aftermath after that. I was actually a little bit optimistic because it seemed like it had mobilized people, not just black people, not just older black people, but everybody. It seemed like it had really mobilized people to make change, to make things better, to improve things. And I was kind of optimistic. I've kind of lost some of that optimism because the reality is not much has changed, if anything, uh, because of that. And you know, it's kind of scary what's going on in this country right now. Um, I think for people of color, but I think for everybody in this country right now, it's kind of scary. And I don't, I don't know what it's going to take for us to come back together as a country. But yeah, to me, it's a little scary what's going on here right now. I guess if I had to pick a number one concern, it would be the violence that's happening in our neighborhoods. I mean, to me, it's the violence that's happening, that's being perpetrated against us, and it's the violence that we're perpetrating against each other. That to me is probably the biggest concern because, you know, these are lives that we're losing. These are important potential, you know, scientists and cures for cancer, all these things that are potentials in all these people that we're losing due to this violence. And to me, if I had to pick one thing, and there's a ton of things that I could pick, criminal justice system, all these things, but the violence that we're experiencing in our communities is really that's the thing that concerns me the most, I guess. I think the pandemic has definitely impacted the level of violence and all the other is the level of crime that's happening right now. And as far as solutions, I struggle to like say, okay, here's the answer. Here's the answer. I think starting to provide. I think one of the things that could be a help is providing educational and job opportunities for people. And when I say job opportunities, I don't mean just like, a minimum wage job, although, hey, that's a job. But to me, I think, trying to help people develop careers and people understanding that they can, have the things that they want in life through education and through working and through, I mean, because I think a lot of the frustration that is in our communities is because people don't have hope. They don't feel like there's anything different going on for them than what they see and what's going on around them. And so, they don't, they get pulled into it. And I just think that if there was, and again, I don't know how to make this happen, but if there were ways that we could, provide more educational and career opportunities for people, I think that could make a difference.